Hello, here is one of my latest small batches of soap that I made. It is a hot process bar. It is unscented because I added scented embeds into the bar because I had previously made a bar, a actually a loaf of soap that I over fragranced. So I cut it up into small cubes and portioned it out over 3 different loaves. The first 2 I did cold process, and this last one I did hot process. Sometimes I like switching up the process that I use because it's a good way to practice doing different types of soap. And I don't know if you've seen things here before, but I also like doing melt and pour soaps. Those are fun, and the scents last really well in there as far as essential oils go. So what's the difference between a hot process and a cold process bar? Well, a hot process bar uses external heat to quickly saponify the soap, whereas in a cold process soap, it usually takes 3 days and sometimes like a couple of weeks for the bar to fully saponify. And what does saponify means? It means that you have taken lye and water and fats, butters, oils, and you've combined those things. And the chemical reaction turns those fats into soap. Here I kind of did a hybrid method where I melted everything in a heat transfer style and then I poured it into my crock pot. You can do all of this in your crock pot. You do have to heat the oils up and then pre-make your lyes so that your oils and fats are essentially around the same temperature. I am what am I? I am a complete newbie. I am selling soap and I've been making it for all of this year so far. And I've made some really great bars of soap. But obviously, the more bars of soap you make, the better you get. So you have to put that time in. What else? I find that hot process bars tend to be larger and more fluffy, and cold process bars are more, they're smaller and more dense, because in hot process, as the soap heats up, it also expands and creates this fluffy mashed potato texture, which is really cool. And you can do designs with that as well. It's just a little more tricky and it depends on what you like. So here is a comparison between cold process, this bar, and the other bar is the hot process. And you can see that the hot process bar is a lot larger and has a more fluffy top. You can give a cold process bar a fluffy top depending on when it thickens in the loaf mold. Anyway, thanks for joining me on my journey here. I usually buy all my products so far from Brambleberry, but that'll probably change sometime in the future as I widen my horizons here. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I will talk to you guys later. Did you like my dish towel? It's one of my new ones. So this next part is of me unmolding and slicing the loaf the next morning. I used Brambleberry's Energy fragrance to fragrance the embeds. Like I said, it was an accident. I over fragranced the original loaf, so it had to be cut up. And even though the other portion of the soap is unscented, it comes through wonderfully. And that's it. I hope you enjoy this. And I find that doing a voiceover is a little more easier than trying to find music because the music that you can use on your videos, unless you pay for something, is usually not that great.